called it the worst thing he had ever heard in his life and refused to release it. A ballad sat unreleased for 3 full years until a Clint Eastwood film forced the label's hand. And spoken word poetry so radical that radio stations rejected it outright. Yet it spread underground anyway and changed music forever.
But you look so pretty.
These are 12 soul songs the industry underestimated. And by the end of this countdown, you will understand exactly why the gatekeepers were wrong. Number 12, Uptown by Prince. Warner Brothers executives were scared to death when they heard what Prince had made. They thought they had signed the next Stevie Wonder. What they got was something closer to a collision between Stevie Wonder and Johnny Rotten, and they had absolutely no idea what to do with it. Uptown came from the Dirty Mind album, a record built on minimal production, sexually explicit lyrics, and complete genre defiance. Funky guitar riffs punched through layers of synthesizers while Prince's falsetto floated freely between genders and genres, creating something nobody had a category for yet. The executives panicked. They feared radio blacklisting. They thought the album would end his career before it started. It did not. Uptown peaked at number 5 on the R&B chart, became a cult classic, and established Prince as an artist who would never, not once, play by the industry's rules. Warner Brothers' top executives Mo Austin and Lenny Waronker ultimately backed him, and the album was released completely unchanged. This was the sound blasting from car stereos when you realized pop music had just been reinvented by someone who refused to pick a lane.
Whatever we bleed.
Number 11, Let's Stay Together by Al Green. Producer Willie Mitchell spent over 100 hours recording this track. Not because Al Green kept making technical mistakes, because he kept making emotional ones. Mitchell would stop the session and say the same thing over and over. Don't try to handle the song. Just let it happen. Let it ooze out. He needed Green to stop imitating Jackie Wilson and Sam Cooke and simply be himself. When Green finally surrendered to the song, what came out was remarkable. His voice glides like honey over the sparest of arrangements, bass and drums creating space instead of filling it, horns punctuating rather than dominating. The whole production felt like a breath held gently. It hit number 1 on the Hot 100 for 2 weeks, topped the R&B chart for 9 weeks, and quietly turned soul music away from the big, shouting style of the 60s toward something softer, more intimate, and far more honest. Mitchell's less is more approach defied an era that believed bigger was always better. This was playing on late-night radio when you needed to hear what love sounds like when it stops performing and starts confessing. Number 10, Theme from Shaft by Isaac Hayes. This was never supposed to be a single. It was a 7-minute blaxploitation film theme, designed to open a movie, not top a chart. But nightclubs got hold of it. Dancers got hold of it. And within months, the label had no choice but to release it. That signature wah-wah guitar riff cuts through strings and horns, while Hayes delivers spoken word swagger with a presence so cinematic, it barely felt like music. It felt like a scene. The song opens with a 2-minute, 43-second instrumental section, one of the longest ever on a charting single. defying every radio programming convention in existence. It hit #1 on the Hot 100 for 2 weeks, won the Oscar for Best Original Song, making Isaac Hayes the first African-American to win an Academy Award in a non-acting category. Though the Academy initially tried to disqualify him on the grounds that he could not read music. The double album became Stax Records' best-selling LP of all time. This was blasting from basement parties when blaxploitation was not a genre yet. Just a sound nobody knew they needed. Here is something that quietly breaks my heart. Only about 1% of the people watching Soul Lens are actually subscribed. That means 99 out of 100 of you come back. You vibe with the stories, you feel the music, you rediscover songs that hit you somewhere deep, and then you leave without ever hitting that button. Think about that. You spent time here. Maybe you just rediscovered a song that hit you right in the chest, and you are about to walk away before the next track even drops. Subscribing costs nothing, not a cent, but it means you will never miss the moments that remind you who you were when that record first played. Soul Lens is not just music, it is memory, it is heritage, it is the pulse that still beats underneath everything we love. Do not listen from the sidelines. So be part of the 1% keeping the soul alive. Hit subscribe, stay, groove, and keep the record spinning with us. Number 9. Fight the Power by the Isley Brothers. Radio programmers saw that title and braced for confrontation. What they got was something far more dangerous: ambiguity. The power could mean anything: a relationship, a system, a state of mind. And because the Isley Brothers refused to define it, nobody could contain it. Executives barely pushed back because there was nothing specific enough to censor. A funky guitar riff spirals and climbs while the vocals shift between smooth harmonies and raw intensity, building a tension that refuses easy resolution. The only documented censorship was a single bleeped word for radio. Everything else stayed intact because the Isleys controlled their own sound. Sometimes it just needs to groove until the point becomes unavoidable. Number 8. Living for the City by Stevie Wonder.
We're gonna sing this song to all the leaders of the world.
Motown had zero control over this one. By 1971, Wonder had renegotiated his contract to include complete creative freedom. So when he decided he wanted a spoken word arrest scene, with real police officers using a racial slur, nobody at the label could stop him. He recruited actual officers for authenticity, and they improvised the line themselves. Wonder was pleased. It captured systemic reality in a way a rehearsed line never could have.
I said it, and I mean it. Yeah, I said it.
Beneath that scene, a synthesizer bass line pulses like an urban heartbeat, while layered vocals build a narrative arc that travels from hope to entrapment to rage. The whole track feels like a city breathing, and then holding its breath.
Do you agree with me?
It hit #1 R&B, reached #8 pop, and won the 1974 Grammy for Best R&B Song. Our radio stations, not Motown, chose to edit the dialogue. The album version remained completely uncompromised.
Y'all agree with me?
This was playing when you drove through your city and suddenly heard your own neighborhood story told without apology or softening.
Let's keep it real. So young people.
Number 7. The Revolution Will Not Be Televised by Gil Scott-Heron. Labels had no idea how to market this. Spoken word poetry over jazz percussion. No hook, no chorus, no commercial break. Radio stations rejected it outright. So it spread anyway. Through live performances, campus coffee shops, underground press, word of mouth in black neighborhoods where the truth had always traveled faster than airplay.
Solution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial.
Scott-Heron's voice cuts through sparse percussion and bass like a sermon delivered from the edge of patience. He lists everything the coming revolution will not be. No instant replay, no rerun, no commercial interruption. Just the unmediated reality of change happening in the mind before it happens anywhere else.
Eating's hog mob, confiscated in a Harlem sanctuary.
Flying Dutchman Records released it on his 1970 debut album, Small Talk at 125th and Lenox. The song never charted, and yet it became one of the most influential recordings of the decade, added to the National Recording Registry in 2002, and widely credited with laying the groundwork for hip-hop's entire political consciousness.
Pushing that shopping cart down the block at a dead Wilford. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mays.
This was playing in college dorm rooms when you realized music did not need melody to move you, just truth, delivered with rhythmic precision.
The winner at 8:32, or a report from 29. There will be.
Number 6. The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face by Roberta Flack. Two full-page ads in the Los Angeles Sentinel, openly challenging their decision and daring them to explain, publicly, exactly why.
Brother, we can't quit until we get our share.
The track is built on loud horn stabs that punctuate a chant turning self-affirmation into collective declaration. And those kids shouting the chorus, they were real. Children from his band members' own families, brought into the studio to capture a raw exuberance that no polished 6 weeks. Reached number 10 pop despite selective radio resistance.
Against the wall and working with someone else. Say it loud.
But Brown paid for it. He wrote later, "The song cost me a lot of my crossover audience. The racial makeup at my concerts was mostly black after that. The commercial sacrifice was real and documented. He made the choice anyway. This was blasting from car windows when pride stopped being quiet and started demanding reco." Number 4. We're a Winner by Curtis Mayfield. Radio stations across America were pressured not to play it. Some refused outright. Black pride messaging during the civil rights. Then Mayfield later confirmed it damaged his commercial momentum. He said it anyway. This was playing in basements and black-owned businesses when you realized soul music could be both beautiful and revolutionary, without ever having to choose between them. Number 3. Mississippi Goddamn by Nina Simone. Radio stations in Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi literally broke the record in half and mailed the pieces back to RCA. Simone testified on The Steve Allen Show in 1964 that they had received multiple packages of shattered vinyl, with notes attached calling it bad taste.
Everybody knows about Mississippi.
Her voice moves between cabaret playfulness and barely contained rage, supported by piano and horns, delivering a lyric that methodically lists every broken promise and hypocritical platitude about racial progress. The song was written in direct response to Medgar Evers' assassination and the Birmingham church bombing that killed 4 black girls.
Alabama's got me so upset, and Governor.
The title alone, using the word goddamn in 1964, guaranteed Southern bans. The song never charted. Distribution was curtailed by regional bands across the South. Nina Simone later stated in Jet magazine that this hurt her career more than any other protest song she ever recorded.
Children sitting in jail. Black cat cross. Lord have mercy on the land of mine. We all gonna get it.
RCA executives feared the backlash. They released it anyway, on the Nina Simone in Concert album. This was playing in northern living rooms when you needed to hear someone say exactly what polite society refused to acknowledge.
People just about do. I've been there so.
Number 2, Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers.
She's always gone too long anytime.
The label released it as a B-side. They did not see it. But producer Booker T. Jones did. When Withers told him the I Know repetition was just a placeholder, that he intended to write real lyrics for that section, Jones stopped him. The session musicians agreed. Leave it like that. They heard something in it that Withers could not yet see.
Ain't no sunshine when you
26 repetitions of I Know over spare guitar and drums, creating a hypnotic meditation on absence that feels like obsessive thought patterns made audible. It does not explain grief. It just cycles through it. The song reached number 3 pop, hit number 6 R&B, and won the 1972 Grammy for Best R&B Song. It became one of the most covered tracks in the entire history of soul music.
ain't no sunshine when she.
Sometimes defying expectations means trusting your collaborators over your own doubts and leaving the placeholder in. This was playing through headphones on rainy afternoons when loneliness needed a voice that understood without explaining.
Ain't no sunshine.
Number 1, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. Berry Gordy called it the worst thing he had ever heard in his life. He told Marvin Gaye directly, "Why do you want to ruin your career?" It was too political, too jazzy. Nothing like the Motown hit factory formula Gordy had spent over a decade perfecting and protecting. He specifically hated the Dizzy Gillespie-style scat passage in the middle. He refused to release it.
Baby.
So Motown executives Harry Balk and Barney Ailes pressed 100,000 copies in January 1971, without Gordy's knowledge, while Gaye had gone on strike, refusing to record another note until the song was heard. Gaye's multi-tracked vocals layer like a conversation between past and present selves. Strings sweep, saxophone weeps. The soundscape feels like standing in the middle of 1970s urban America, surrounded by questions nobody wanted to answer. It became Motown's fastest-selling single in the label's history. Hit number 1 R&B for 5 weeks, reached number 2 pop, sold over 2 million copies, and forced Berry Gordy to admit publicly that he had been completely wrong. The full What's Going On album followed, and permanently redefined what socially conscious soul music could be. This was the song that made you understand music could ask more important questions than it provides answers. That beauty and protest were never opposites. They were always partners.